up, especially as a kindergartner or a first grader, and they ask you, who do you want to be when you grow up? Well, a lot of us like to be a firefighter or a police officer or a teacher. And perhaps that's a very wise choice. But the real question is, who do you want to be, as in, what makes you you? Now, those are careers, of course, which help with who you've chosen to be. Now, I like to, 1 Samuel mentions something about like being yourself. Let's see if I can find it here. 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, further down the line, it says, "For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." So what makes you you? Is it your personality? Is it your humorous character, or is it the serious part about you that everyone knows you for? Well, isn't it for someone to ask you, who are you? How do you exactly answer that? Right, it's not too easy to answer, because then you could go on and on about yourself, and then that doesn't make you look too good. So you gotta break it down, and you're just like, who am I? And then you start describing about yourself. Well, you can have several choices on who you are, but I would say the very highlight of who you are is who has taught you to be who you are. As an example, as your parents, as you were growing up, they gave you morals and things to remember, and they taught you to act a certain way, to be yourself, to tell the truth, to be honest, to be good, and if you did bad, to tell the honest truth about what you've done. Now, does that help you be who you are? Does that tell you, like, hey, that's who I am? And my parents helped me with it. They helped me to build off of what they've taught me, and that makes me who I am today. But like, if you look at it, saying like, I am who I am, but yet I've been taught from my parents' perspective of being kind, honest, true, all of the good stuff, but does that make them part of me? Do I become part of them? Now, it's like a very different way of looking at it. If you think about it, a person who learns from someone else, you see the person who's taught them a little bit of them in you. Like, say, your mother's kindness. You see it in yourself every day when you're helping someone and not thinking about it, or helping someone with some heavier lifting. You get it from your dad. He taught you how to. He went out in the woods. He helped you cut a tree down. You learn how you get them building muscles up, right? Well, what else? So does that make you part of them? So does it? Do you see yourself as your parents do? Do you see them in you? Well, some would ask, who did God create you to be? Now, did he make us to be like Moses or Jacob or Joseph or Isaac or Peter or Saul? Well, I don't think he created us to be just like them, but to maybe follow what they've taught us and what they did in their lifetime, for them to be an example in our lives. If you'd like to turn to your Bible, Jeremiah 1:5 will help explain that. All right. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet of nations. So clearly, you're not just like Joseph or Jacob or Isaac or anyone else in that matter. You're different. You're not just like that guy over there or this woman over here. You are your own person because God said so. He says that I knew you before you were born. So we're not exactly like another person, yet we perceive ourselves to be that way. We like to think that we're like this guy because he's a nice guy, and that's just like me. And she's kind to everyone, and I see myself in her, so I'm just like her. Or, yeah, I'm smart, I got a good grade, so I'm just like him. But it doesn't necessarily mean you're like them, yet you have some qualities and traits like them. But why would you want to be just like them? If there's already one person out there just like that, super smart and all of that other stuff, and you're just like them, what makes you so special about it though? If I'm just like Tom here, he's smart, strong, and he's good on the women. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, but there's nothing so great about it. What's so great about it? I'm gonna be just like him, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, that's me right there. No, that's that guy. No, that's me. I'm just like him. Super strong, good with ladies, and all that. But so what's so difficult about being yourself? About being different? Instead of being like Tom, 1 Timothy 4:4 mentions something about you being yourself. For every creature of God is good, and nothing is to be refused, if it is to be received with thanksgiving. So, what does that exactly mean? For every creature of God is good, and nothing is to be refused. It is to be received with thanksgiving. Now, in high school, I know a lot of you guys were in high school, and I'm still in high school. I only got one more year, thank God. Woohoo! But it's all about fitting in and if people like you or not. Well, the question is why would you fake yourself to be just like someone else just so they like you? Like, if I was into sports and I played basketball, and so did my friend Jerry. He played basketball too. And we both had we did a lot of the same things together. We played basketball, we were good, we were great, we did awesome. And I was just like him. There's nothing different. But yet he has all these other qualities that I don't have. Like being good at education. He's smart and he knows how to be good with people, but I'm not. So how do I exactly deal with that? Because if I'm not good with people, no one's gonna like me. And if I'm not smart, I can't play basketball. So what do I do? No one? Come on, guys. I know you guys know. Study. That will help with my education. What about me not being good with people? How do I exactly fix that? Be a jokester. Good with the jokes. Maybe learn a couple of card tricks. Be yourself. There we go. So if you be yourself, that means you have no one to impress. That means you are completely free of caring what people think. Now, as myself, I am a jokester, and I do like to tell some jokes, and I am very social, and I like to talk to a lot of people. And I always tell people, I've told many people who have struggled with asking about who they are, I tell them, let's see if I have it written down here. It's weird. Oh, see. If you're just like everyone else, then you're normal. And what's the fun of being normal? Really, think about it. It's like a car. You got a nice car. It's maybe a Toyota or a Ford or Chevy, right off the lot. But it looks like everyone else's car. It drives like everyone else's car. And it smells like everyone else's car when it comes off the lot. But if you put some work into it and you make it yourself, you put your own ideas into this car, it's yours and no one else has it. So then everyone remembers it and everyone likes it. So if you think about it, you be yourself and you act like who you are, and you be, if they don't like you, well, that's their problem, isn't it? Because you're being yourself, and people tell you to be yourself, to act like, just be yourself, you'll be fine. But we're never not. What are we doing? We're never ourselves. We always go along with someone's joke, and we build off of that one, or that guy is being nice, I'm going to be nice, so they like me. But my father, he always told me this funny joke, is if we were all the same, we'd all be chasing the same woman. No, I don't think that's case for some women, but you know what I mean. So if we all start liking the same, well, one woman, that's all we need. All right, so now, so if we're being ourselves and we're being different and we're not normal, so what is that? In English class, we had an assignment of unconformity. Now, I'm not sure who's familiar with any of that, but it means acting out upon what the normal status is, doing something different. This guy, he lived in the woods for like 6 years or something like that, and he wrote 4 seasons or some lame book. But his point was that he was trying to get away from the world, to find out who he was and who he was supposed to be, he was meant to be. In Romans 12:2, it talks about unconformity, or as in such. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing of the mind, that you may prove that is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So my English act of unconformity, she had given us an option of writing or writing something about it, but we could act upon it. And she gave us about, I think it was the weekend. And I couldn't remember exactly what I was going to do, and I forgot about it. So I told her Monday, I was just like, tomorrow I'm going to come in and you're going to know it. And she looked at me, she's like, okay. And I was like, trust me. So the night before, I was planning out every kind of outfit I could find. I got a pair of shorts, a shirt, a tie, and I was going to roll in style. And I was texting my friend, I was like, you're never going to believe what I'm going to wear tomorrow. And they're like, oh boy, do I even want to know? I was like, yep, yes you do. So I come to school, I get on the bus, everyone looks at me in a weird way. They're like, why are you dressed like that? I'm like, because I can. It's for a class. And I went through my day, I got to English class, and I told her this is my act of unconformity. And she looked at me, she's like, that's very good. She laughed at me, of course, I don't know why, but I thought it was a pretty good idea. So as the day went on, I continued to strut my stuff. I know what I'm doing. This is my style. And I walked to my science teacher as before I go to this other class, and he's laughing. And I'm like, what you laughing about? And he's just like, that's style, man. That's so you. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you dress normal for the other days. What today? You look different. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing me right now. Yeah, if it was up to me, I wouldn't even be wearing all this. I'd be pajama shorts and, I'd come into school, probably have my nightcap on, and be sleeping. But he said this is you, I can see it. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. I didn't get it, of course, right then. I had to get to another class. But as soon as I was thinking about it, it was me. Now, you haven't even heard what I was wearing. So, what do you think I was exactly wearing for everyone to notice? Think I wore this? No? What about what Scott's wearing? No? Well, I'll tell you. I wore some greenish dark shorts. I wore one blue or neon striped black sock, a blue one on this side, a blue shoe, a black shoe, a tie around my neck or my head, and I wore the brightest yellow shirt I had found, and I wore a dark flannel over it, not even close to the color I was looking for. And now I don't get it. My teacher laughed at me. I don't get it. That was me. And then Mr. Rice is like, oh yeah, that's you. I'm like, thanks, dude. That's very nice. Do I not dress good every day then? See, I didn't get it at first, but then I looked back and I'm like, well, I was wearing that, so naturally he'd think, this is you. Thank you very much. But the story of it is that I was being me. Now, if I wanted to, I could do that every day. I wouldn't care. I'd be comfortable. I'd be free. I'd be in that zone. No one's gonna touch me, guys. Don't give me homework today. I'm not feeling it. No, don't give it to me. So that was the whole storyline of that. It's just you got to be who you are, and you don't want to be normal. You want to be who you are. You got to be comfortable with it. So, wow, this is going really fast. I should slow down a little bit. You guys aren't hungry, are you? Because if you are, you're gonna have to wait like an extra half an hour. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a half an hour here. So, I have a final little story I guess I could share along with what I've been talking about. Now, I was thinking about a good story to tell, of course, to fit in line with this story that I was telling in my sermon, of course. So a man walks into a bar. His name is Jerry. Well, not a bar, more of a cafe kind of an idea. He walks in the cafe, he sits down, and he orders as usual. But of course, he hasn't been there in a while. He's been busy with work and being part of the world, as he would say, or some would say. And he orders his coffee and pie. So he's finishing up. A man walks in, sits next to him, doesn't say anything, and Jerry looks over and he sees the same clothes he's wearing as he's wearing right now. And he asks the fellow, well, that's odd. How are you wearing the same clothes as I am? This must be a pretty good coincidence. Man says nothing. So as Jerry he's paying for his meal, he's going to get out of here. And he turns around, he bumps this gentleman. He's walking in with some papers and everything. He helps him pick it up, and there he is. He looks up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Oh, yeah, the gentleman didn't say anything, of course. Why would he? Because he had just bumped into him rudely, didn't see him. And Jerry looks up and he sees the same clothes he's wearing as Jerry is. And he's like, well, that's an odd coincidence. That gentleman over there is wearing the same thing as I am, and you are wearing the same thing as I am as also. It's a funny coincidence, isn't it? And the man just looks at him and walks away. Jerry's like, okay, whatever. He gets in his car. He starts to pull out, and the same vehicle, oddly enough, comes to the side of him as he comes to the stop sign. And he looks over. That's the same car as I got. How about that? Same color and everything. He rolls down his window. Hey, buddy, nice car. I got the same one. Guy looks at him, doesn't say anything, drives off. Well, Jerry's like, well, okay, well, that's odd. Well, he gets home, and as he's getting ready for bed and such after a long day and everything, he's brushing his teeth. He looks up, and he sees the man that he had seen in the cafe right next to him. Doesn't say anything either. He doesn't think much of it, He's wearing the same thing as he is wearing now, so he's like, okay. So he goes in after he's done there, he goes into his living room. He's wandering around a little bit, and then he goes into his bedroom and takes his watch off by the mirror. And he sees the other guy he bumped into, the gentleman he bumped into as he was walking out. The guy didn't say much, of course, and Jerry's just looking at him. He's just like, well, that's odd, he's into my house now. It's not very comforting at all. So he looks out, hears dogs barking. And he sees the car out there too. 2, 3, 4 of them right in a row, same as his. Well, he takes his beeper and he goes beeping and see which one is his. All of them go lighting up, horns and everything. And now he's just very confused and very strange. He's just like, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. And he heads to bed. Doesn't think much about it after that. Do you see what's going on right now? He sees himself as the man in the cafe he's never met before. And he sees the gentleman he bumped into, never seen him before either. And the car that is oddly enough, that would end up 4 of them in his driveway. He hasn't realized that he is just like the world. He is just like every other guy on the street. He thinks he's different, but he's not. He thought he saw himself as a different person with this new car and this outfit, but two guys have it, and a whole bunch of people got the same car. So is that you when you walk out the door? Is that you when you come home? Do you see other people like you, just like you? Nothing's changed. Or are you being you? Are you being the person that God created you to be? Are you doing what He likes and what He wants? I know it's hard to do that sometimes because, well, we're not going to be liked. We're not going to fit in. But in the manner of I said earlier, who cares? Now, Peter and Paul and all the disciples, well, they were kicked out a lot of times from areas that they were preaching and spreading the gospel for, and they weren't liked there, so they moved on. What are they going to do? Try to fit in so that people can listen to them, but they won't listen to them anyway. So they go on to the next town, and then they continue their preaching. If people liked them, and they liked what they were hearing, then they would have, they accepted them. They accepted the disciples. So when you walk out the door, like today, are you coming from the world, or are you coming back from church? Are you leaving here with church on your mind, or are you leaving with football or basketball or sports on the next day? I think that when we become part of the world and that we get caught up in it, of course it is easy to get caught up in the world, and we have a lot of things on our mind, but we need to go back to the Bible and what God says, that who we're supposed to be and how we're not supposed to fall into the world, like in Romans 12:2. So I thought that was something that I needed to share with everyone, and I know that it's not a complete, total sermon, but my point was hopefully to the point, and I hope that it helped with any questions someone might have had. Thank you for listening, and being you. I appreciate everyone that acts as themselves, and when I go places and other places and I see them, they are the same person as I meet in church. So I'm thankful for that. Our closing hymn is 309, I Surrender All.